In this video we're going to look at how to use the resources page in the dashboard. First of all, you'll notice that we have a download CSV button. This can be used at any point after you've applied the filters to download whatever is shown on the page in CSV format. The CSV file can be opened up in any spreadsheet program, for example in Excel. Next we have the datetime selector over to the top right. You can open up the datetime selector simply by clicking on it. As you can see, we have a few preset options. By default, when you first load the page, the last 7 days of data is shown. We also have presets for today, yesterday, the last 7 days, last 30 days, this month, which will show data up till today, last month, this year, which will show data from the beginning of the year until today, and last year. Finally, we have the ability to set a custom date range so you can choose what date range you would like to view data over. For example, I'm going to set the date to the 3rd of October 2017. As you have seen, the data is displayed in a bar graph as well as a table. You can hover over the bars on the graph to see more information about the dataset. We also have the ability to turn the unique users or authentications on or off from the graph. This allows you to focus on one point of data. The table shows the resources with the most authenticated to appearing at the top and the least authenticated to at the bottom. We have the resource name listed. This will either be the entity ID of the resource, or if you've set a friendly name in the settings, it will show the friendly name that you've set. For example, we've created a friendly name for EasyPCSP development site instead of it showing its real entity ID. We then have an authentications column, which is the total amount of authentications to that resource for that date range. And then finally, we have the unique users, which shows the total amount of unique users to that resource over the date range. At the bottom of the table, we have the total amount of authentications over the date range to all of the resources and the total amount of unique users that are in that date range. We have a number of filters that you can use to create a laser-targeted report. These filters can be combined, as we will see shortly, to create a very powerful report. The first filter is the filter by service providers. This allows you to see authentications to a specific service provider or a few service providers. Using the filters is very easy and intuitive. Once you click on the box, you will be presented with the list of resources. You can scroll this list and simply click on the service providers that you would like to be included in the report. If you have set friendly names for the service providers, you will see the friendly name here. Otherwise, you will see the entity ID. For example, we have set the friendly name G Suite for our Google Apps service provider. We will automatically add any service providers that we find in the IDP log files to this list. If you do not see your service provider here, it is most likely due to the fact that there have never been any authentications to that service provider. To remove service providers from the filter, you can simply press the backspace button on your keyboard. As the list of service providers can be quite long, you can also start typing in the name of the service provider or its entity ID, and the list will be filtered. For example, if I look for EasyPCSP, our WordPress plugin, I can see the list brings up the EasyPCSP development site. You can add multiple service providers just by simply clicking on each service provider you would like to add from the list. The graph and table data below is automatically updated as soon as you add in any filter, as you can see the graph updating below. The filter by auth types allows you to find out how many authentications are happening with users typing in their username and password to the IDP, and how many are happening with Seamless Single Sign-On. If you have Seamless Single Sign-On, you will also see Kerberos as an authentication type listed here. This can give you an indication then of how many authentications happened on-site or off-site. You simply just click the checkbox next to the item or items that you would like to filter by. Filter by attributes is a very powerful feature, especially for GDPR purposes. Using this filter, you'll be able to see how many resources have been sent a certain attribute. For example, you can see how many resources have received given name, which is first name in Active Directory and LDAP. You can add as many attributes to this list as you would like and can remove the attributes by using the backspace. Filter by profiles allows you to see how many authentications have either gone to SAML 1 or SAML 2. You should hopefully see your SAML 1 authentications declining over the near future, as this is now a deprecated method in favour of SAML 2. At Over, we have very little authentications on SAML 1 as we purely use SAML 1 to test certain service providers. The majority of our authentications happen over SAML 2. We also have the ability to filter by users. This will initially be greyed out for you with an enable button. This is then tracked in the dashboard log so that the dashboard admin is able to see who has activated this feature. Filtering by users is very simple. You just type in the user's username that they use to log into the IDP. You can add multiple users by comma separating them. This then allows you to see the authentications for a specific user or set of specific users. And the final filter, filter by groups. This is reliant upon Active Directory. You can set the Active Directory or LDAP attribute to synchronize here by going into the dashboard settings. This will then automatically display any groups from your Active Directory. This then allows you to quickly see what the authentication usage is for each AD group or set of Active Directory groups. Now you know what each of the filters do, you can combine them to create a report on what you specifically need. For example, in this report I want to see what the top resources are for support in the last 30 days that have been over SAML 2. I do this simply by setting the date to the last 30 days and applying the group filter of support and applying SAML 2 to the filter by profiles. I can then download a CSV file of this easily by clicking download CSV and opening the file up in my spreadsheet software.